showing the place and time of election of chairpersons and vice chairpersons of all affected committees before the rise of the House today. For clarity, honorable members, the counting of the 7-day period contemplated under Standing Order 179-2 shall commence tomorrow, Friday, 7th March 2025. This implies that the elections for chairpersons and vice chairpersons of the specified committees will be held on Wednesday, 12th March 2025, or Thursday, 13th March 2025. You are accordingly guided. Order members remain at the bar. Honorable members, the second is an invitation to Muslim members of parliament to the parliamentary iftar dinner. Members, take the nearest seat. I can see Honorable Shimba. On account of your seniority in age, we can't keep you waiting. And Junet is a fortunate beneficiary to that. Mwango, take the nearest seat. Honorable members, as you are aware, our brothers and sisters of the Islamic faith are observing the holy month of Ramadan, which commenced last Saturday, 1st March 2025. You'll also recall that last year we hosted the inaugural iftar dinner for members of parliament who profess the Islamic faith and invited guests. The hosting of the dinner is the furtherance of Parliament's strategic Pillar 3 on enhancing public trust through parliamentary outreach and embracing the diversity of our nation's character. Honorable members, during the inaugural dinner, it was agreed that the event be included in the parliamentary calendar and be hosted on an annual basis. In this regard, honorable members, the Right Honorable Speaker of the Senate and I hereby extend an invitation to all members of the Islamic faith in both houses of parliament for this year's parliamentary iftar dinner. The event will be held on Thursday, 13th March 2025 at the Parliament Gardens main building from 5:30 p.m. We have also invited the leadership of both houses, members of the House business committees, dignitaries from other arms of the national government, as well as members of the diplomatic corps to the dinner. I take this opportunity to wish the Muslim community Ramadan Mubarak and Saum Makbul. I thank you. Honorable members, allow me, as I continue communicating, to acknowledge the following institutions. In the Speaker's Gallery, St. Hannah's Boys High School, Langata in Nairobi. In the Public Gallery, St. Thomas Aquinas Thomenu Boys High School, Kaiti Makueni. Harambe Primary from Makadara, Nairobi. And Kiriti Day Secondary School from Tetu, Nyeri. On your behalf and on my own behalf, we welcome the students and their teachers to the House of Parliament. Next. Yes, Commissioner Macau.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I stand based on your first communication. That is on House committees.
On committees.
The Constitution and the election of chairmen and vice chairmen. Yes. Mr. Chairman, this is a house of tradition and rules. In the past, Mr. Speaker, I seek your intelligence and guidance. During the 12th Parliament, Mr. Speaker, I saw one commissioner, Honorable Adan Keinan, served as a commissioner. At the same time, he was a chairman pick. Mr. Speaker, in the past,
yes,
commissioners have been disadvantaged to be placed in committees. And I was wondering, if in your committee, is it possible for a commissioner to seek election as a chairman or a vice chairman in the committees? I seek your indulgence.
It is not an irregularity, but it is an embodiment of unacceptable conduct. For any one of us to be a commission of the Parliamentary Service Commission, which is an extremely busy undertaking and a rare privilege for members of this House to serve in PSC as commissioners. Out of 349, I have only 5 of you in the commission. If you are salivating for any seat as a chair of a committee, I would discourage you. Then you leave it to your colleagues who don't have positions of privilege like you have. But if you want to present yourself for election against that advice, there's no law that bars you from doing so. But I think it is imprudent to do so. Yes, Junet?
Mr. Speaker, based on your guidance, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, you know, even if you look, when you look at the standing orders, the chairs of the committees, members who become chairs of committees, are not allowed to sit in any other committee other than the committee that they are chairing, Mr. Speaker, through the standing orders. So that now the commissioner is even higher than a chair of a committee. If a chair of a committee is not allowed to sit in another committee, how will a commissioner chair a committee in that case, Mr. Speaker? Mr. Speaker, I know Honorable Macau has been feeling disadvantaged in terms of membership of a committee, and he has approached me several times. But I've been reminding him also, you are a commissioner. You're not a small man. You are our employer, actually. We report to you. You are the one who knows our matter, who deal with our matters, both privately and publicly, personal issues as an employer. So, Mr. Speaker, the next governor of Machakos must be contented with what God has given him as a commissioner, and let him not create a confusion, Mr. Speaker.
That simply buttresses, Honorable Macau, what I have said. And apart from commissioners who are in the House Business Committee, because that is a unique committee that we allow members to sit in, selected specifically by their parties for particular reasons. Members who become chairpersons of committees, if you have a second committee, you'll be obligated to relinquish it to other members who don't have adequate committee placements. Next.
Order number 3, messages. Order number 4, petitions. Order number 5, papers.
Before the papers, honorable members, allow me to recognize a delegation of staff from the Parliament of Zimbabwe. I would like to acknowledge the presence of a delegation of 10 staff from the Parliament of Zimbabwe sitting in the Speaker's gallery to observe the House proceedings. You may stand for acknowledgement. The delegation is on a benchmarking visit to share best parliamentary practices and experiences with our staff in the National Assembly. On my own behalf and that of the National Assembly, I welcome the delegation to Parliament and wish them fruitful engagements. Honorable members, when we were in the university in 1980, Robert Mugabe came to address us. And we remember the phrase, Pamberina Chimurega. I'm sure it makes a lot of sense to the delegation in the gallery. Next, Majority Leader. The University of Nairobi. Yes, the university.
Thank you. Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the House today, Thursday, March 6, 2025. 1, reports of the Auditor General and financial statement for the year ended 30th June 2023, and the certificates therein in respect of, number 1, Ahmed Shahame Mwindani Technical Training Institute. 2, Coast Institute of Technology. 3, Kekrao Technical and Vocational College. 4, Kendenge Technical and Vocational College. 5, Keroka Technical Training Institute. 6, Kinango Technical and Vocational College. 7, Likoni Technical and Vocational College. 8, Mabera Technical and Vocational College. 9, Mawego Technical Training Institute. 10, Msambweni Technical and Vocational College. 11, Mugutsi Technical and Vocational College. 12, Musakasa Technical Training Institute. 13, Okame Technical and Vocational College. 14, Sangalo Institute of Science and Technology. 15, Sirisia Technical and Vocational College. 16, Taveta Technical and Vocational College. 17, Wanga Technical and Vocational College. And 18, Wamingu Technical and Vocational College. Number 2, reports of the Auditor General and financial statement for the year ended 30th June 2024 and the certificates therein in respect of 1, Anti-Doping Agency of Kenya. 2, Anti-Female Genital Mutilation Board. 3, Asumbi Teachers Training College. 4, Augustine Teachers Training College, Iregi. 5, Bomet University College. 6, Child Welfare Society of Kenya. 7, Communication Authority of Kenya. 8, Democratic Action Party Kenya. 9, Export Processing Zone Authority. 10, Intergovernmental Relations Technical Committee. 11, Judiciary Deposits Accountability Statement. 12, Kenya Agriculture and Livestock Research Organization. 13, Kenya Bureau of Standards, KEBS. 14, Kenya Film Commission. 15, Kenya Health Professions Oversight Authority. 16, Kenya Petroleum Refineries Limited. 17, Kenya Safari Lodges and Hotels. 18, Kenya Sese and Cypomyces Eradication Council. 19, Kisii University. 20, Konsa Technopolis Development Authority. 21, Maendeleo Chap Party. 22, Moi University. 23, National Oil Corporation of Kenya Limited. 24, National Research Crime Center. 25, National Transport and Safety Authority. 26, National Youth Service. 27, New Kenya Planters Cooperative Union PLC, New KPCU. 28, New Partnership for Africa Development, Stroke Africa Peer Review, Mechanism Kenya Secretariat. 29, Numerical Matching Complex Limited. 30, Occupation Safety and Health Fund. 31, People Democratic Party, PDP. 32, People's Empowerment Party. 33, Progressive Party of Kenya. 34, Public Service Commission. 35, Pareteram Processing Company of Kenya. 36, Rivertex East Africa Limited. 37, State Department for Basic Education. 38, State Department for Labor and Skills Development. 39, State Department for Mining. 40, State Department for Roads. 41, the Jomo Kenyatta Foundation. 42, the Shamberere National Polytechnic. 43, Tom Mboya University. 44, Tourism Fund. 45, Road Maintenance Levy Fund. 46, University of Eldoret. And 47, the Enterprise Development Fund. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and I lay.
Next order. Before the next order hold, I want to acknowledge 3 members of staff from Trans Nzoia County Assembly in the Speaker's Gallery. On behalf of the House and myself, we welcome you to the House of Parliament. Next.
Order number 6, notices of motion. Order number 7.
Tim Wanyonyi, member for Westlands.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to give notice of the following motion. That aware that land is a critical but limited factor of protection that supports human habitation and food production. Noting that agriculture is Kenya's economic mainstay. Appreciating that the Central Bank of Kenya, CBK, Monetary Policy Committee Agriculture Sector Survey 2022 estimated the contribution of the agriculture sector to be the country's gross domestic product, GDP, to be 22% directly and 27% indirectly through its linkages with other sectors. Further appreciating that the survey showed that the sector employs over 40% of Kenya's total population. Concerned that the Land Reform Volume 3 publication, the Kenya Land Alliance land estimated that only 17% of the country's land mass is classified as suitable for rain-fed agriculture land, while the remainder is either semi-arid or arid. Further concerned that the country's agriculture productivity has been decreasing over the years, cognizant of the fact that the decline in agricultural productivity is partly attributable to the shrinking agricultural land due to unplanned settlements that encroach on agricultural lands. Further concerned that agricultural lands in rural areas are continually being subdivided into small portions that build for build-up development. Therefore, diminishing the size of land available for agriculture, noting that there is need to put in place measures for effective land use in the country in order to guarantee optimal use of agriculture. Now, therefore, this House resolved that the government, through the Ministry of Lands, Public Works, Housing, and Urban Development, puts in place a policy framework for effective land use in rural areas by consolidating and designating zones for build development, for commercial and residential developments with shared public utilities and separate zones for agricultural use in order to arrest further diminishing of agricultural land and steady the country's agricultural productivity. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Next order. Clerk, hold before you call the next order. I acknowledge the following institutions in the House. In the public gallery, Othaya Boys from Othaya, Nyeri. Members, your usual style of acknowledging visitors, imekufa. Speakers Gallery, Thiginki Girls School from Runyenjes, Embu, and Ururu Girls School from South Imenti in Meru. On my behalf and on your behalf, I welcome them to the House of Parliament. Next.
Order number 7, questions and statements.
Statements. Eli Letipila, Samburu North.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 44-2C, I wish to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Administration and Internal Security regarding the escalating banditry and insecurity within Nachola and Nyiro wards of Samburu North constituency. Honorable Speaker, An alarming trend has emerged regarding the brazen roadside attacks along the Baragoi-Maralal Road and an escalation of banditry in parts of Samburu North constituency. Recently, a police land cruiser that was ferrying remandees for a court session was attacked under police officer PC Humphrey Oroba, number 254918, who was also the driver, was killed, and his rifle, an AK-47, number 590-140-79, stolen. The incident was reported at Baragoi Police Station on OB number 710-225, and the 4 fugitives who are the remandees are still at large. 2 weeks later, a bus, that's registration number KCH 872N, under the Ngarua Circle, plying the Maralal Baragoi route, was also brazenly attacked at Mbukoi area on the same road. 2 conductors, namely Kevin Lalampa and George Lochuch, were killed. 10 passengers survived with gunshot wounds and are admitted at Maralal Referral Hospital. These attacks follow an earlier spate of raids that have resulted in the death of 3 young men, namely Alois Lormule Mosa, the Nakuru Lembisikichoi, and Molangai Lemede, and the loss of over 200 heads of cattle near Tomb area of Nyiro Ward. Another attack, which also resulted in the death of a young man who was taking his child to school near Ngorishe in Nyiro Ward, also took place. Honorable Speaker, it's against this background that I request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Administration and Internal Security on the following. Number 1, the report on the security situation in the Loruko, Tum, Kawap, Parkati, Belt, and the Marti, Lamerok, Suyan, Nachola, and Nyiro wards of Samburu North constituency. Reports to apprehend the criminals and fugitives following the attack on the police escort, including the recovery of the missing firearm. 3, measures put in place by the ministry to ensure the safety of the passengers who ply the Maralal Baragoi Road and other trunk roads like the Opiroi Baragoi Road. And finally, number 4, plans put in place by the ministry to facilitate peace, dialogue, and cohesion among the Samburu and Turkana communities who live in Nachola and Nyiro wards of Samburu North constituency. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Etipila. Security. Wapi Tongoyo? Any member of the committee? Majority Leader? Majority Leader, this is a statement sought from administration and security. Can you inform them to bring a response in 2 weeks?
I will do that, Mr. Speaker. Sir.
Thank you. Omulkhair Kasim, Mandera County.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I'm requesting for a statement regarding power outages in Mandera County. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 442C, I wish to request for a statement from the Chairperson of Departmental Committee on Energy regarding power outages in Mandera County. Honorable Speaker, in the recent past, there have been frequent power outages in Mandera County, especially Mandera East and Mandera South constituencies, which have disrupted critical services offered at health facilities, public institutions, and commercial operators. In January 2025, the Kenya Power and Lighting Company installed 2 generators in Mandera East. However, one of the generators broke down within the same month. The frequent power outages have caused panic among the affected residents, noting that this exposes the area to incidences of insecurity and negatively impacts economic activities. In addition, due to the high temperatures in the area, residents are at risk of suffering from heat strokes and also affect the observance of the holy month of Ramadan. Due to this, residents have been compelled to purchase ice blocks across from Somalia, thereby increasing the cost of living. The incessant power outages continue to cause distress to the residents of Mandera. Honorable Speaker, it's It is against this background that I request for the statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Energy on the following. One, to report on the steps being taken by the government to address the frequent power outages. Two, the immediate measures being put in place to replace malfunctional generators, including providing additional generators with the required wattage to ensure constant supply of power in the county. Three, the long-term plans for stable power supply in the county, including exploring alternative avenues such as acquisition of generators through the independent power producers, which, Honorable Speaker, their contract was terminated in 2023, thereby resulting into this unfortunate incident that we are in right now. Thank you.
Yes, Cynthia Muge, you want to joyride on that?
Honorable Speaker, allow me to joyride on this statement because I have a burning issue, Honorable Speaker,
Yes.
that the KPLC a company is not only the home of inefficiencies, Honorable Speaker, but it is also a home of inconvenience. Honorable Speaker, the Office of Nandi County National Government Affirmative Action Fund paid a whooping 800,000 shillings, Honorable Speaker, for the purposes of installation of power at the Kabirsang Rehabilitation Center 1 year, 3 months ago, Honorable Speaker. And efforts to even follow up for its installation is not bearing any fruit. This is a very inefficient company, and they should be able to put their act together as they sort out the issues that have been raised by Honorable Umo.
Thank you. Omanyo, you also want to joyride on that?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I also want to just add on what my colleagues have said about Kenya Power and Lighting. I come from a border point, Busia, where we share, we get so many trucks passing across Malaba town and Busia town. But unfortunately, every time there is a power blackout and the streets have no lights, I'm hoping and urging the Kenya Power and Lighting Company to up their game, especially in towns like Busia, where it serves so many other nations. So many trucks go to Rwanda, Congo, Uganda, across Busia and Malaba customs. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, honorable member for Yes, go ahead. You will be
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
You'll be the last joyrider.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I also want to ride on the same.
Igembe Central.
Yes, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. I want to ride on the same on KPLC, Mr. Speaker. They are becoming a real troubleshooters. Mr. Speaker, in my Igembe Central constituency, the KPLC installed transformers, 6 of them in numbers. And they registered members of the community as users and agreed on meters. Then they installed the power. They delayed the meters for almost 8 months. Then they came back and vandalized everything and carried the transformers, leaving the community in darkness. It's their own failure not to bring enough transformers and to delay. Mr. Speaker, that one has brought a lot of problems. Business communities were preparing to do their business using the power, but now they have been cut off and nothing has been done for the last 3 weeks. That's why we are challenging them to come up and work hard and stop being this sluggish and rendering our people irrelevant in businesses and workings. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Sabina. Is it joyriding on the same?
Yes, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I think it's the high time we look at Kenya Power. Mr. Speaker, and especially the areas where we don't have a digital meter, even their bills are funnily generated, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, a lot of our people are also moving out of this country, the business men, and also many industries, Mr. Speaker, because of the cost of power. So Kenya Power need to address the issue, 1, efficiency, number 2, the cost of power, and especially looking at the people who are doing businesses. But at the same time, Mr. Speaker, it's also good for the people who owe Kenya Power a lot of money to pay. Mr. Speaker, we saw the drama that was happening last week. And also Nairobi has become a very dark city. Some of the streets where we used to have street lighting, the streets are dark. Kiambu Road, if you go at night, Mr. Speaker, you'll also find that those street lights are almost off half of the time, Mr. Speaker. So even as we censure Kenya Power, we also need to be sure that we also pay for the bills and the people who owe Kenya Power to pay back their money. But for the governor, to the governor of Nairobi, he needs to light Nairobi County. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Chair, Energy. Majority Leader. Majority Leader. Ensure the Chair Energy brings a response in 2 weeks.
Yes.
Jerry Maina. Kasheri, Kirinyaga County.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I rise to request for statements regarding issuance of title deeds in Southern Gariama settlement area. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of the Standing Order 42-2C, I wish to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Lands regarding the delay in issuance of title deeds in Southern Gariama settlement scheme, Mwea constituency in Kirinyaga County. Honorable Speaker, the Southern Gariama settlement scheme is a 17,000-acre land located in Kirinyaga County, which was established to provide land to residents of Mwea constituency. However, for decades, the process of formal land allocation and issuance of title deed has remained unresolved. In February 2023, the Ministry of Lands initiated an adjudication process following a directive issued by the Kirugoya Environment and Lands Court. Yet to date, the issuance of title deeds is yet to be finalized. This prolonged delay in issuing title deeds has affected development in the area. Without legal proof of ownership, investors remain hesitant and donors are reluctant to fund community projects. Furthermore, the delay has caused land-related disputes with a rise in conflicts in the area over land ownership. Article 40 of the Constitution guarantees a right to ownership of property, and the continued delay in issuance of the title deeds restricts the ability of residents of Sangariama settlement scheme from exercising this right. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Lands on the following. 1, a report on status of the adjudication process of the Sangariama settlement scheme, indicating whether the process references initial mapping conducted in 2009. 2, the specific timelines for the conclusion of the titling process, including issuance of title deeds to the rightful residents. And 3, measures being taken by the Ministry of Lands, Public Works, Housing and Urban Development to address land ownership disputes in the area, including steps taken to facilitate verification of rightful ownership in cases of disputes. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Kasheri. Lands, Majority Leader again, inform them to bring a response in 2 weeks. Mark Mwenje, Embakasi West.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I raise request for a statement regarding the status of 24-25 work plan for the Kera and Kura. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to provisions on Standing Order 42-C, I wish to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Transport and Infrastructure regarding the status of the 2024-2025 work plan for Kenya Rural Roads Authority and the Kenyan Urban Roads Authority. Honorable Speaker, in November 2024, the High Court extended its orders freezing disbursement of the 10.5 billion road maintenance levy fund in conditional grants allocated to counties for 2024-2025 financial year, pending determination of a court case on the fund. The monies for the road maintenance levy fund, which are disbursed by the Kenya Roads Board, are used for maintenance in each constituency through the Kenya Rural Roads Authority and the Kenya Urban Roads Authority. The delay in disbursements of funds is expected to cause a deficit in the projects already tendered by constituencies for the financial year 24-25, occasioning pending bills. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Transport and Infrastructure on the following measures being taken by the government to ensure the work plans tendered for the financial year 2024-2025 are not suspended due to lack of funds. Measures being taken to ensure that the delay does not occasion pending bills and other charges that may result from breach of tender agreements. And finally, actions being implemented by Kera and Kura to ensure that roads under their jurisdiction, which are due for maintenance, are not affected by the delay in disbursement of funds. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Mark Mwenje. Majority Leader, Transport and Infrastructure, to bring
weeks.
a response in 2 weeks.
Yes.
Thank you. Next order. Oh, Majority Leader, now is your turn. Your Thursday statement.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 44-2A, I rise to give the following statement on behalf of the House Business Committee, which met on Wednesday, 5th March 2025 to prioritize business for consideration during the week. As members are aware, this week the House debated the report on the 2025 medium-term debt strategy. I wish to commend the leadership of the House and the members for the dedication and cooperation exhibited in the consideration of this critical business. And I also commend the liaison committee under the able chairmanship of the Deputy Speaker for taking lead in the consideration and ensuring the conclusion within the set constitutional timelines. Honorable Speaker, I wish to remind the House that following the extension of time granted last week, we ought to conclude with the consideration of the 2025 Budget Policy Statement, or BPS, before the end of next week. In this regard, upon tabling of the report of the liaison committee on the BPS, it will be prioritized for debate. Honorable Speaker, with regard to business scheduled for Tuesday next week, the House is expected to continue with the consideration of the following bills should they not be concluded today. One is Committee of the Whole House on the County Government Revenue Raising Process Bill of 2023 and the Public Audit Amendment Bill of 2024. Two is a second reading of the Learners with Disabilities Senate Bill number 4 of 2023 and the Treaty Making and Ratification Amendment number 2 Bill of 2024. Additionally, debate will be undertaken on the following motions, some of which are listed in today's order paper should they not be concluded. One, resolution to sit on other days. Two, consideration of the budget policy statement. Three, consideration of the report of the National Dialogue Committee and the report of the multi-sectoral working group on the realization of the two-thirds gender principle. Four, report on the public petition on legal recognition and protection of e-hailing motorcycle riders and delivery personnel. And five, report on the state of security in 6 counties of North Rift, being Baringo, Elgeyo Marakwet, Turkana, West Pokot, Samburu, and Laikipia. Honorable Speaker, with regards to the attendance of cabinet secretaries to answer questions from members, I wish to inform the House that due to the budget-related business before the House, the cabinet secretaries that were scheduled to appear on Wednesday, 12 March 2025, have been rescheduled to a later date. Honorable Speaker, as I conclude, I wish to remind members that the House is scheduled to proceed for our short recess next week. As such, members should note that the House may be required to sit longer or to have additional sittings on some days to conclude priority business before proceeding on recess, especially on the budget-making process for BPS and the Supplementary Appropriations Bill that is already before the House. Finally, Honorable Speaker, the House Business Committee shall reconvene on Tuesday, 11 March 2025 to schedule business for the rest of that week. And I now wish to lay this statement on the table of the House. Thank you.
Thank you, Majority Leader. Next.
Order number 8, motion. Consideration of the 2025 medium-term debt management strategy. Question to be put.
Members on their feet, take your seats. Come, Kate. Ketini. Honorable members, I now put the question at order number 8, which is that this House adopts the report of the Liaison Committee on its consideration of the 2025 medium-term debt management strategy laid on the table of the House on Wednesday, 5th March 2025, and pursuant to the provisions of Section 15(4) of the Public Finance Management Act 2012 and Standing Order 232A7 and 8A approves the 2025 medium-term debt management strategy, and B, makes the policy and financial resolutions contained in the schedule to the order paper. As members of that opinion say aye. If those of the contrary opinion say nay, the ayes have it. Next order.
Order number 9, motion, further changes to committee membership.
Chairperson, Committee on Selection. Majority Leader.
Honorable Speaker, at times you run into problems when you sit next to honorable members who are very engaging, like the member for Muranga and the member for Laikipia.
I notice your level of concentration has diminished considerably.
It is the member for Muranga, Honorable Speaker, who has taken the deputy majority leader seat, and the member for Laikipia took the whip's seat. I'm used to sitting with gentlemen here, and the two gracious ladies have given me very good company. Honorable Speaker, I wish to move the motion that further to the resolution of the House of Wednesday, 5th March 2025, appointing members to various committees and pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 1, this House further under. On the Departmental Committee on Environment, Forestry and Mining, the Honorable Chepkonyi Charity Kathambi, MP, to replace the Honorable Kuno Yakub Ado, MP, who appears twice in the approved list. 2 is the Departmental Committee on Tourism and Wildlife, Honorable Dr. Gishuki Edwin Mogo, MP, to replace the Honorable Wainaina Anthony Njoroge, MP. And 3, the Select Committee on Parliamentary Broadcasting and Library, the Honorable Ahmed Shakil Shabir, CBS MP, to replace the Honorable Wetangula Timothy Wanyonyi, CBS MP. Honorable Speaker, these are just corrections. Members will note in yesterday's order paper, some of these members appeared twice in some of the committees, so we are just moving them because it was a public error that we are correcting. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I beg to move and request the leader of minority to second.
Mr. Speaker, I stand to second. Mr. Speaker, yesterday I was away when the list was tabled here, which was passed. Mr. Speaker, I want to congratulate the members who have been appointed to nominate different committees. Mr. Speaker, committee membership will keep on changing because there are many factors that come into place, attendance and other issues, experience, as the way Honorable Osoro said yesterday. So I want to bear with members. Even now I'm seated next to a member who wants to be changed from one committee to another. And I'm pleading with her that stay in that committee for 1 month. Then if you're not comfortable, we shall see. So Mr. Speaker, this is an ongoing exercise, as the majority leader said. After the election of the chairs and the vice chairs, there are members who will leave those seats because chairs are only allowed to sit in the committee they are chairing. After that, again, there will be another review and we will see. And then we will realign again and bring another list back to the House so that now we do it conclusively until the election time. But I saw a member yesterday who was saying he cannot be replaced here. It's unprocedural. Mr. Speaker, it is the prerogative of the leadership, and especially the whip, to place members in committees. There is no committee that you come with from your house here. You come here when you have no committee, and you wait to be placed in a committee. And you can be discharged anytime from any committee. You can be de-whipped anytime from a committee. You can be, the standing order says you should only be in one committee. Even the catering service is a committee of parliament. People who take care of our food, our tea, our mandasi. Why are people belittling that committee, Mr. Speaker? If you are placed in the catering service, like Honorable Jen Kihara, she's a mother, she should work there. She knows better than all of us what to do, Mr. Speaker. We are taking that place the best of the best, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, why do you want to cook food in your house and you don't want to do it in parliament? Why, Mr. Speaker? So, Mr. Speaker, it is the prerogative of the leadership and the whip to place you in a committee, to discharge you from a committee, and if your conduct becomes unbecoming, you will be de-whipped, Mr. Speaker. Those feedbacks, Mr. Speaker, I support.
You you second.
Mr. Speaker, I second, yes.
Honorable members, I now propose the question at order number 9, which is that further to the resolution of the House on Wednesday, 5th March 2025, appointing members to various committees and pursuant the provisions of Standing Order 175, this House further approves the appointment of the following members to the respective committees as specified hereunder. 1. Departmental Committee on Environment, Forestry and Mining, the Honorable Chepkwony Charity Kadhambi, MP, to replace the Honorable Kuno Yakub Ado, MP, who appears twice in the approved list. 2. The Honorable Dr. Gichuki Edwin Mugo, MP, to replace the Honorable Wainaina Anton Njoroge, MP. 3. The Honorable Ahmed Shakil Shabir, CBS MP, to replace the Honorable Wetangula Timothy Wanyonyi, CBS MP. Put the question? Yes. I now put the question at order number 9, which is that further to the resolution of the House on Wednesday, 5th March 2025, appointing members to various committees and pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 175, this House further approves the appointment of the following members to the respective committees as specified hereunder. 1. Departmental Committee on Environment, Forestry and Mining, the Honorable Chepkwony Charity Kadhambi, MP, to replace the Honorable Kuno Yakub Ado, MP, who appears twice in the approved list. Departmental Committee on Tourism and Wildlife, the Honorable Dr. Gishuki Edwin Mugo, MP, to replace the Honorable Wainaina Anthony Njoroge, MP. Select Committee on Parliamentary Broadcasting and Library, the Honorable Ahmed Shakil Shabir, CBS MP, to replace the Honorable Wetangula Timothy Wanyonyi, CBS MP. As members of that opinion say aye. Will those of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Yes, Majority Leader.
Honorable Speaker, I beg your indulgence before we move to the next order, which is Committee of the Whole House. Honorable Speaker, as I indicated in the usual Thursday statement, we are considering one of the bills that we are considering is the Public Audit Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 4 of 2024, in Committee of the Whole House. Honorable Speaker, this bill was published in January of 2024. And we considered in second reading, debated, and after debate, the only thing that has been pending is a Committee of the Whole House. Honorable Speaker, I wanted to give a statement regarding misinformation and a disinformation campaign on this particular bill, which was perpetuated by one of the media houses. And I think many members have seen it. The Public Audit Amendment Bill of 2024. And you have seen in the media, and I think this was perpetuated by one of the media houses. I don't know whether it was a fake story or a real story, because what was initially circulated had the banner of one of the media houses, and consequently picked up by the media, alleging that the National Assembly has drafted a bill that is taking away the powers of the Auditor General, following the pronouncements that the Auditor General had done in her normal audit reports, which are before this House and before committees of this House, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, when that happened, the usual characters on social media picked it up and spiraled it out of control, alleging very absurd things and very unconstitutional things that were being done by this bill. And I thought it was important that we set the record straight on the import of the Public Audit Amendment Bill of 2024, which, as I've said, was published in January of 2024, not January of 2025. Therefore, if anyone imagined, as they have been saying on social media, that this bill was targeting the Auditor General because of her recent report, it is very far from the truth. But it is this campaign of misinformation and disinformation, Honorable Speaker, that saw this House suffer immensely in terms of reputation and interference with our work that led up to the events of June 2025 because of a campaign, deliberate campaign of disinformation. Honorable Speaker, in this light, it is this light of sensationalized, inaccurate, false, misleading reports that the bill seeks to remove the Auditor General from office. And nothing could be further from the truth. Honorable Speaker, the Office of the Auditor General, as we all know, is an independent constitutional office whose tenure and independence is well protected in our Constitution under Article 229 of our Constitution. And that is why, even in my response on Twitter or on X, I told them there are certain unconstitutional things anyone cannot even fathom that can be done through an act of parliament like this. Honorable Speaker, the bill seeks to amend the Public Audit Cap 412B in order to align it with the Constitution following a declaration issued by the High Court in the case of Transparency International Kenya versus the Attorney General and two others of 2018, petition number 388 of 2016, the Transparency International Kenya case. That's sections 4.2, 8, 12, 17, 1, 18, 27, 40, 42, and 70 of the Public Audit Act, Cap 412B, are unconstitutional. And that is the court that ruled that. Therefore, all that this bill sought to do is to align, or rather to correct the unconstitutionality of what was found to have been unconstitutional in the bill that had been passed earlier in 2016 in the last parliament. In the Transparency International case, Transparency International TI Kenya, the petitioner filed a petition against the Attorney General and the Auditor General and the Africa Center for Open Governance, AFRICOG, as first and second interested parties, respectively. The petitioner challenged constitutionality, the constitutional validity of sections 4, 2, 7, 1G, 9, 12, 14, 17, 18, 18 subsection 3, and the entire part 3. That is section 25, 26, 27, sections 40, 42, 68, 70, and 72 of the Public Audit Act, Cap 412B. Justice Chacha Mwita held that sections 4.2, 8, 12, 17, 1, 18, 27, 40, 42, and 70 of the Public Audit Act, Cap 412B, were inconsistent with and in contravention of the Constitution and were invalid. Honorable Speaker, this is the reason why we had this bill, so that we could align the Public Audit Act to the High Court declarations. I have looked at the Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning's report that was tabled, and its proposed amendments to the bill. And I have not seen anywhere of a proposal to remove the Auditor General as head of the National Audit Office. In any case, when the Auditor General, Honorable Speaker, appeared before the committee and she made representations before the Finance and National Planning Committee, she never indicated that the bill sought to remove her from her office. The committee report is publicly available and on the parliamentary website. And again, in my ex post, I did indicate so that Kenyans may be appraised of accurate information regarding the business, either before the House or that is speculated to be before the House. Because I have also seen others speculating that there are bills touching on border borders in the National Assembly. And the bill that was proposed about border borders was proposed by the senator for Kakamega in the Senate as a private member's bill. Honorable Speaker, it is my plea that in reporting business that is before the House, and it's my plea to our very good journalists in the Fourth Estate, when you are reporting business before the House, please report accurately, maintain the highest levels of journalism standards with accuracy, and refrain from having sensational stories that are only geared towards inciting members of the public or selling your otherwise slow-moving newspapers. Honorable Speaker, I want to end my statement there, but again, to appeal to everybody, including Kenyans, and inform them that any business that is before this House, whether it is a motion, whether it is a bill, it is publicly available on our website. And that bill on the website, at the back of each bill, it has the objects or the reasons behind, the reasoning behind the bill. So you do not need any journalist or anybody on social media to interpret things for you. Just read. And I believe our drafters, both in the National Assembly, in Senate, in the Attorney General's office, use very plain and simple language for any Kenyan to be able to read and understand. And I believe also, Honorable Speaker, I have seen some platforms where our bills are being translated in Swahili for those who are not able to read them in English. Therefore, there is no reason why people should be circulating false, inaccurate, misleading, and insightful statements purporting that anybody wants to remove the Auditor General. And I say that with immense respect to the Auditor General and the Office of the Comptroller of Budget, Honorable Speaker. As much as I saw yesterday, MCS from Nairobi are now demonstrating outside the office of the Comptroller General, Comptroller of the Budget. And Honorable Speaker, if I could also, in closing, implore on these independent offices, Honorable Speaker. When I saw what the MCS for Nairobi County were doing, it is something I know, and you know, I am the last person to speak for governors, Honorable Speaker. But the Office of the Comptroller of Budget needs to style up. Ask any governor in this country, they have to go through hell to get their monies approved for use in their counties by the Office of the Comptroller of Budget. And many will tell you, without parting with money, without paying bribes to officers in that office, governors never get justice. And I say this, Honorable Speaker, because the other houses are the ones who should be speaking about this issue. But because I saw it in the media that MCAs now have taken it upon themselves, the MCAs from Nairobi County, to go and demonstrate or seek for justice, especially around money that should be going to their constituents in their wards, and they can't get approvals, Honorable Speaker. And it's not just Nairobi County. Across the country, governors and county governments are suffering because of inefficiencies and corruption in the Office of the Comptroller of Budget. But because they're independent offices, they imagine if anyone speaks about them, the whole world will come crumbling down, saying, oh, you're attacking independent offices. Their independence can never go without being checked, and it is only Parliament that can check these independent offices, and even the Office of the Auditor General, Honorable Speaker. The Auditor General reports to Parliament. That is why her reports are sent to the National Assembly and the Senate for those that relate to counties, for them to offer an opportunity to the MDAs, the ministries, departments, and agencies of government to appear before our oversight committees and answer to all the issues that the Auditor General has raised. And therefore, when again people pick sensational issues that are in the Auditor General's report without paying any attention to the responses by the management of the MDAs, Honorable Speaker, then we run the risk of sensationalizing everything about the running of public offices in this country. And therefore, we must call for accountability even in these offices, Honorable Speaker. And I want to take the opportunity, even as we correct the misinformation, to call for accountability even within our independent constitutional office like that of the Comptroller of Budget. And I have said it, Honorable Speaker, and I am certain if our governors had the forum like I have here, they will tell you they are suffering. Speak to any governor, they will tell you they have to bribe officers in that Office of the Comptroller of Budget to get their expenditures approved. And that's why you've seen MCAs really crying out on behalf of the people that they represent. Because MCAs are people's representatives like members of Parliament. They represent constituents who are waiting for drugs to get to hospitals in their wards, children who are waiting for bursaries. As much as, again, I hear there was something else to do with bursaries coming from the counties, Honorable Speaker. But we must speak for these people, because if we do not, Honorable Speaker, it then becomes fashionable in our sport to just talk about the sensational reporting that is out there, but nobody is holding to account these independent officers. But that is our mandate, and we must do it. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Yes, Janet.
Mr. Speaker, I want to add my voice to what the majority leader has raised, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this matter of the audit, the bill, has been sensationalized, Mr. Speaker, so much in the country, to the extent that they were saying the majority leader has tabled a bill in Parliament to remove the Auditor General from office, Mr. Speaker. And I was shocked, because I'm a member of this House, and I have never seen a bill of that type, Mr. Speaker. And what even shocked me more is that the story was carried by a highly reputable newspaper, media house, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, what is happening nowadays in our country in the sphere of media, Mr. Speaker, is shocking. Nowadays, you'll wake up to headlines that saying, stupid man, useless man. Mr. Speaker, what kind of media is that? Where is the Media Council of Kenya that's supposed to regulate the media? Where is, if people are aggrieved on what media is doing, where do you complain to, Mr. Speaker? And there are no apologies. They will move on. They can write anything today, tomorrow they will write another one, Mr. Speaker, and nothing happens. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, but the main issue I wanted to bring to the attention of the House, Mr. Speaker, the Auditor General reports to the National Assembly in terms of expenditure of government, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I have been a member of the Public Accounts Committee in the last two parliaments. Auditing of government expenditure did not start today or yesterday, Mr. Speaker. There's a procedure that is followed whenever auditing is done, Mr. Speaker, and the law is very clear. I want to bring to the attention of the House that Article 226 of the Constitution, as read with the Public Audit Act 412B, Mr. Speaker, provides for the procedure of auditing, Mr. Speaker, which requires that the Auditor General engages the public servants who are in the public offices, audits them, and reports to Parliament. Parliament is now supposed to verify whether the audit report is correct or not correct. Until that is done, Mr. Speaker, and a report is tabled before the Assembly of the House, before the plenary of the House, Mr. Speaker, that audit is not confirmed, Mr. Speaker. Those issues raised in that audit report. You will see now the Auditor General reports on a matter before it is verified, before it is certified. It is all over the country saying that so-and-so has stolen this, so-and-so has, this kind of money has been lost, and to the extent of inviting the Auditor General to appear before you, and she confirms that this is what she has found. But she has not told that committee that the matter has not yet been verified by the Committee of the House, Mr. Speaker, because the Committee of the House is the arbiter on that matter. The public servant who has been accused of malpractice and the Auditor General, who's the prosecutor, appear before the Committee of the House, and everyone brings his or her documents before the Committee of the House. Unless we have changed our rules, unless we have changed our laws on auditing, Mr. Speaker, that is the position as far as I'm concerned. Now, Mr. Speaker, any audit report is a confirmed report before it is audited, before it is brought before the House. Mr. Speaker, that culture will lead to anarchy. That culture will lead to people's names being destroyed, Mr. Speaker, without any recourse. Mr. Speaker, why the civil servants are being given an opportunity to explain what the Auditor General has reported is because they might have been delaying submission of documents. There have been misinformation, could have been misinformation. They could have been misreporting. All that needs to be looked at. But if the Auditor General's word is final, then why report to Parliament then? Why can't the auditor do the report and publish it, and that should be the end of the story? That is not what the law says. And we must be people who are guided by the Constitution and the law. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, Kenyans nowadays are asking themselves whether these independent offices that they gave themselves unto through the new Constitution is really serving them. Look at the controller of budget, Mr. Speaker. County government, you know, the controller of budget, Mr. Speaker, is supposed to check whether the expenditures that are being incurred by the county government and the national government are in tandem with the budget that has been approved by Parliament, period. But now, every county government must seek the approval of the controller of budget for any expenditure. If they want to build a dam, he must go to the controller of budget and ask her, can I build this dam or not? Then there's a lot of corruption. The other day, the controller of budget reported that the government, the national government, spent 1.3 trillion manual without passing through our office, Mr. Speaker. And he said that money was supposed to be spent electronically. Mr. Speaker, who is this mad person who knows that Parliament is going to audit them, Parliament is going to hold them accountable, and you can spend public funds which are not budgeted for? Mr. Speaker, the corruption in the controller of budget office must end. Devolution is suffering. Governors are suffering. Governors are unable to perform. Governors cannot access the monies that have been appropriated for them, Mr. Speaker, because of the office of the controller of budget, Mr. Speaker. And it has been the norm. And the controller of budget has refused to take any action. She has been summoned to the Senate. She has been summoned to the National Assembly. Governors have gone to see her. The Council of Governors have gone to plead with her that devolution is suffering. There is corruption in her. For every approval, you must part with something. Governors are saying openly everywhere that for us to get approval from the Controller of Budget's office, we must give some money. Mr. Speaker, under this era, where the country is facing problems and devolution is almost on its deathbed, but money has been given and the Controller of Budget is stifling it, Mr. Speaker, it is up to this House now to rise to the occasion and take action. Those few remarks, Mr. Speaker, I conclude.
David, Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I just want to.
Take 2 minutes.
Yes, I'll take 2 minutes. I just want to follow up on the issue that has been said by the majority leader and the minority leader in regards to the media. We can see that there is indiscipline in the fourth estate, and we have allowed that indiscipline because there are no consequences for misreporting and misinformation at all. We must begin to put pressure on them. One, if those who are within the Bunge grounds, who are accredited to report here in Bunge, misreport, then the accreditation must be taken. And not just the individual accreditation, that of their media house. It's as simple as that. Because they owe us a duty to report accurately, and that's why we allow them access to be here, but they cannot be here and continue to misreport. Also, we must ensure that there is legal consequences. Every time they misreport, if they misreport the Auditor General should sue them. If they misreport Parliament, we should be able to sue those media houses until they begin to know that we are not going to allow it. Or else, if we continue this way, the media houses will be in charge of destroying institutions, destroying individuals, and writing whatever we want. We cannot allow that. We must also make sure that we keep no matter how many times, sending our complaints to the Media Council. And if the Media Council doesn't take action, then we can take them to account. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Yes, Makali Mulu, 2 minutes.
Yeah, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I just want to be very brief, and I want to talk about the issue of the media and the House. While I hear my colleagues saying it should be the work of this House trying to tell the media not to report, I see it different, Honorable Speaker. Because we are the initiators of the bills, most of the bills come from the government side, others come from the members. Why don't we have a communication strategy whereby either the owner of the bill or the Parliament do in a very simplified manner communicate the objects of the bill? Because commenting on this issue of the audit bill, Honorable Speaker, procedurally, and you know it, Speaker, budget issues relating to the Auditor General come to the Budget Committee. And this is basically because the Auditor General should be an annex of this House. The work of the Auditor General is to help this House do proper oversight because they give us information. So that being the case, Honorable Speaker, I don't know at what point we decided that this bill should be looked at by the Finance Committee, which normally looks at issues of treasury. Because from where I say, I might be misinformed, I'm not a lawyer, but I thought procedurally, we have, as a House, we have actually guarded. We have more, as a House, we have made sure that we don't expose the Auditor General to the interaction with the treasury. And I think that is good for democracy and for purposes of our oversight role as a House, Honorable Speaker. So even as we discuss this audit bill, for me, I think that the gap has always been because we might have not, as a House, communicated effectively what are the objectives of this bill. And I think the majority leader should have taken a bit of time to do that so that we don't allow Kenyans out there to comment on a bill which they don't understand. I submit, Honorable Speaker. Thank you.
But Makalimul, and the objects of the bill in the bill itself. Yes, Kimani?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, misinformation starts with errors. Disinformation starts with agenda. When I looked at what the media reported on this particular bill, I could tell for a fact that was the agenda that they were trying to pursue. This bill, Honorable Speaker, in any case, it is giving more power and more authority to the Office of the Auditor General. The function of, for example, auditing human resource was not expressly provided for in the law. And therefore, these particular proposals are actually giving more power and more influence to the Office of the Auditor General. On the issue of this disinformation, Honorable Speaker, last week we held a meeting with the Controller of Budgets on the issue of those manual and automatic payments. I was surprised on the headline to see on the Sunday Nation the following day. I wondered, was this the same meeting I was chairing? Because the issue of that particular discussion, how it was translated, it is like National Treasury went to Central Bank and withdrew 1.3 trillion shillings in cash. And that is what disinformation was meant to inform Kenyans. And what that would actually meant, National Treasury, for a very long time, National Treasury will process payments manually. There would be a lot of paperwork that the PS has to sign, taken to the control of budget manually for approvals. What now National Treasury has done is to come from manual to automatic approval of transactions. However, because debt payments are extremely many and they're payments that are made every the Principal Secretary and the CS National Treasury for coming out from the manual systems to the automatic systems and encourage them that all those payments should all be boarded onto automatic system, Honorable Speaker. But the disinformation is an agenda and you must call them out because.
Honorable members, I think we'll end up there. It is important to point out to our compatriots in the media that we expect and require you to report factually, accurately, because these are not abstract issues. Bills are published, they're in print, they are posted on the parliamentary web, and you can also get hard copies from the government printer and from the House of Parliament itself. And we have said, following the president said in the impeachment proceedings, that we will also be posting bills to offices of members of parliament at the constituency and the county level for women reps, for members of the public to access these bills, those who want to read, understand, and they are free to critique without censorship, without disinforming. And for avoidance of doubt, honorable members, the Auditor General of the Republic of Kenya is appointed under Article 229 and can only be removed from office under Article 251 and not in any other manner. The Speaker of this House will not approve any bill that is brought to this House to purport to remove the Auditor General, because the process of removing the Attorney General from office is provided in the Constitution. And any matter before the House, to feel free to reach out to the office of the leadership of the House, the majority leader, the minority leader, the Speaker's office, the clerk's office, and any other office that they can access for clarity on matters that concern the public. I think we can leave it there. Honorable members, I've got two short communications. In the public gallery of the House, we have Namanga Secondary School from Mathioya in Muranga. On my behalf and on your behalf, we welcome the students and their teachers to the House of Parliament. Secondly, honorable members, there's a corrigendum on the stay of consideration of the Kenya Sign Language Bill, National Assembly Bill number 1 of 2024. Yesterday, honorable members, you recall that during the afternoon sitting, I guided the House on the stay of consideration of the Kenya Sign Language Bill, National Assembly Bill number 1 of 2024, Mohammed MP nominated. Honorable members, in the communication, I indicated that the bill has similar proposals as those contained in the Kenya Sign Language Bill, Senate Bill number 9 of 2023, co-sponsored by Senator Crystal Asiga MP, and the Minority Whip, the Honorable Millie Odhiambo Mabona CBS MP, which is also before the House. In this regard, honorable members, I wish to clarify that the Kenya Sign Language Bill, Senate Bill number 9 of 2023, is co-sponsored by Senator Crystal Asiga MP and is to be co-sponsored by the nominated member, the Honorable Umulher Harun MP in the National Assembly, given that the bills were identical and Honorable Umulher had sponsored the bill in this House. We are accordingly guided. Thank you. Next order.
Order number 10, Committee of the Whole House.
Members, will you be upstanding? Oh, hold on. Sorry, I had given Timothy Kiprotich an opportunity to raise a point of order. And as a matter of interest, it is directed at both majority and minority leaders. Timothy, go ahead for 2 minutes.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
We'll
Honorable
go to the
Speaker,
committee
I
of
will
the
pray
whole
for
after
extension
that.
of time. Honorable Speaker, I pray for 5 minutes to raise a certain matter, Honorable Speaker, on a certain constitutional matter regarding the reconstitution of committees by this House. Honorable Speaker, I rise pursuant to Standing Order number 1, as read to Standing Order 173, regarding the reconstitution of committees by this Honorable House. Honorable Speaker, this House consists of members from the majority party, from the minority, but Honorable Speaker, we also have independents, members who are elected on an independent ticket to this Honorable House. Honorable Speaker, independent members of Parliament are elected pursuant to Article 85 and Article 99 of the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya. Honorable Speaker, further, Article 103(e)(2) provides that the office of MP becomes vacant if an independent member joins a political party. Honorable Speaker, further, Standing Order 259(b) establishes the caucus of independent members as a coordination and advocacy platform to safeguard the interests of independent members of this House. Honorable Speaker, cognizant of the fact that independent caucus selected one of their members to sit in the committee of selection in order to protect, defend, and uphold the interests of the independent members of this House. Honorable Speaker, independent members are nominated to committee through the Committee on Selection as per Standing Order 173, which provides that the independent caucus of members of Parliament, which has been formally been recognized by this House, to submit names of their preferred committees. Honorable Speaker, concerned that the majority whip, in particular, has jurisdiction over members of the majority party and does not have authority on or jurisdiction over independent members who are not bound by the party's disciplinary or attendance guidelines. Honorable Speaker, acknowledging the importance of fair representation in committee assignments and the autonomy of independent members in the governance of parliamentary business, Honorable Speaker, in your direction issued yesterday, you ruled that what was before the House was reconstitution of committees rather than discharge of members. But Honorable Speaker, be that as it may, can House committees be reconstituted without taking into account the interests of the names submitted by the caucus of independent members of parliament? Honorable Speaker, I seek your ruling on the two following issues. One, whether in the process of reconstituting committees, the majority whip can remove or reassign independent members of parliament without consulting them or the caucus of independent members of parliament. Number two, Honorable Speaker, whether such reallocation or reassignment or reconstitution would violate the role of the Committee on Selection as outlined in Standing Order 73 and the principle of fair representation in committees. Honorable Speaker, if you give me 1 minute to explain. Honorable Speaker, we have 12 members of parliament elected on an independent ticket to this National Assembly. Honorable Speaker, I'm one of them. I'm here not because of political party, but I was brought here direct by the people of Marakwet West. Honorable Speaker, the practice in this house, when the first committees were nominated, was that we sat down, we formed a caucus. The caucus was formally recognized by yourself, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, we sat down, we nominated members, our members to serve, to select committees in which they want to serve in. Honorable Speaker, we have one member, one independent member, Honorable Karuna Ngeleche, who sits in the committee of selection of this house to protect the interest of the independents in this house. Honorable Speaker, I am not under the guidance or the leadership of Honorable Kimani Chungwa, who is the leader of majority, because Honorable Speaker, he is not my leader in this house. I am an independent member. I am not under the guidance or the supervision of Honorable Kimani Chungwa. I am not under the guidance or supervision of the majority whip of this house, nor the minority whip. Honorable Speaker, therefore, I wish I have no issue. I have been removed from the committee. I have no issue. But for posterity, Honorable Speaker, it is good you issue a ruling to protect the independent members of this house who are elected from their constituencies to serve the interests of their people before the floor of this house. Honorable Speaker, I would invite your ruling on those two fundamental issues so that the interests of independent members of this house are not subverted. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Junet.
Mr. Speaker, I've been in this parliament since the new constitution came into place, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it looks like the hangover of the old ways, the hangover of the old constitution has refused to go away from this country. Mr. Speaker, you've been a member of parliament for long. You remember the previous parliaments where you served before the new constitution, Mr. Speaker. The whips used to constitute committees, send it to the speaker for approval, and it ends there. Under the new constitution, Mr. Speaker, a standing committee was formed called Selection Committee that deals with issues of placement in committees. And whatever proposal that the leadership of minority, majority, independents, and all kinds of caucuses that are in this house are looked into in that committee, Mr. Speaker. That committee has representation from all sectors. It has representation from the majority. It has representation from the minority. It has representation from the independents, the so-called quote in quote. It has representation from small parties, non-parliamentary parties. It has representation from, Mr. Speaker, all shades of representation in the House. What we bring before that committee that is chaired by the majority leader is proposals from different sectors. We bring proposals from the minority that, please, we are bringing proposals from the minority that this is how we want to constitute our committees. The majority brings, the independents have a voice there. It is that committee that makes a decision, Mr. Speaker, that go back and redo this, or we are in agreement. And if there is even a stalemate, people vote, Mr. Speaker, in that committee. But Mr. Speaker, in conclusion, I want to say, under this new constitution, the whole idea of independence needs to be relooked into, Mr. Speaker, in this country. How independent are independents in this house? We know when they come here, they align with who? These are the same independents, even though even now it is broad-based, after the new election, they joined the other side. Some of us were with us. They left us at night, not even during the day. I called them, I told them, where have you gone? They told me we're in Karen. Karen where? Where the new president is. Oh, I told them, we shall meet later. So we need to exercise, we need to look into this matter of independence, generally, Mr. Speaker. You cannot be independent when you want committees, but when there are serious fundamental issues of the country, you're not independent. You're either with the minority or you're with the majority, Mr. Speaker. There are independents on our side here, like Fatuma Full Network, the woman rep for Migori. By all intent and purposes, she's an ODM member. She votes with us. She comes to our parliamentary group meeting. Shakil Shabir is independent. By all intent and purposes, he's an ODM member, Mr. Speaker. So just say your member did not get the lucrative committees that members are looking for, either budget committee, transport committee, and everybody cannot get. But the whole issue of independence, Mr. Speaker, in your ruling, my plea to you now in your ruling is that go broader, Mr. Speaker, and relook at the whole issue of independence. How independent are they, Mr. Speaker? With those few remarks, Mr. Speaker, I submit.
Majority Leader.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I don't buttress what has already been said by the Leader of Minority, because indeed it is true that under the current dispensation, the political parties, both parliamentary and non-parliamentary political parties, in line with our standing orders, are represented in the selections committee, which I happen to chair. And decisions of that committee are not decisions of the chair, are decisions, as the Leader of Minority have said, decisions of the committee. By consensus, and where there is no consensus, we vote. And it's also true, Honorable Speaker, in line with our own standing orders, the independents in the House, and I don't question the independents myself, but the independents in the House are accorded an opportunity to sit in that selections committee. And indeed, when I listen to Honorable Timothy Toroitich, the issue he's raising is coached around a constitutional issue, but it's more of a complaint of his relegation to another committee from the one he was serving in. But I can confirm, because we sat in that committee on Monday evening, the Honorable Timothy Toroitich, the committee he was in, he has been replaced by another independent member. Not a member from the majority or from the minority. It is another independent member who has taken his position. And in line with the proposals that we got before the committee, Honorable Speaker, from the representation of the independents in the selections committee. To Honorable Speaker, engage the Honorable Ngelechei, Honorable Karauri, who lead that caucus of independents. And when they appeared before the Honorable Ngelechei as a representative of the independents in the selections committee, submitted their list. Honorable Speaker, as expected, every other member in this House wants to be a member of the budget committee, transport, energy, education, water and irrigation. But it is not practical. And that is why what Honorable Junet says is true. The intent of the Constitution and our standing orders was to establish a selections committee that would then guide the House to settle members in committees, because it was expected that if what Timothy Toroitich says is true, or was to be true, that if a particular grouping brings their list before the selections committee, expressing their desire, what if all independents, we had 20 or 30 independent members, and they all expressed their desire to sit in the budget committee? Shall we have a budget committee where only independent members sit? Or for instance, now I think there are about 11 or 12 of them. If they all wanted to sit in the transport committee, would it mean then that that is the only committee they will all sit in? That was the import of our Constitution and our standing orders, that there will be established a selections committee that, like all other business of the House, the committee will guide in terms of settling and agreeing through consensus, and where there's no consensus, by a vote, which member sits in which committee, Honorable Speaker. Therefore, I think by and large, when I listen to Honorable Toroitich, I have heard him his disgruntlement and a complaint on the committee that he has been settled on by the selections committee. But I want to encourage the honorable member for Marakwet West. Focus more on serving the people of Marakwet West. And there are members who have served in this house and not served in any committee of the house. But they have done exemplary well in the assembly, in plenary, and in their constituencies in addressing matters that are of concern to the people that sent them to represent them. Otherwise, if you focus on disgruntlement on whether you sit in this or that committee, as I said yesterday, Honorable Speaker, we may not be able to satisfy everybody, and it's not practical to satisfy everybody in terms of their desires and needs as individuals. But let us use the opportunities that we are given to serve in whatever committee you are relegated to serve in, whether it is in Transport Committee, whether it is in the very powerful Members' Welfare Committee. That, Honorable Speaker, I said when in the last parliament I served in the Members' Welfare Committee, I have never served in a more powerful committee of this house than the Members' Welfare Committee. This is a committee that oversees the Parliamentary Service Commission, where the Speaker is the chair of the Parliamentary Service Commission. There is no other committee of this house that can oversight, Mr. Speaker, other than the Members' Welfare Committee. And I am very proud of my time as a member of the Members' Welfare Committee because, Honorable Speaker, you remember when you took over as a chair of the Parliamentary Service Commission, Bunge Tower had actually progressed in the last 2 years of the last regime because of the work that we put to make sure that we oversighted the Parliamentary Service Commission to ensure that members of parliament who joined the 13th Assembly, and I must thank you, Honorable Speaker, because when you came in, you picked up from where the other commission had left and ensured that now members enjoy good facilities at Bunge Tower. And I want to ask the members who are joining the Members' Welfare Committee, keep the Speaker on his toes so that he can continue guiding the Parliamentary Service Commission to improve your welfare as members of parliament. And that's why I say it is one of the most powerful committees of this House, Honorable Speaker. I was just engaging with my brother, Honorable Nimrod Mbai. I was telling him the public again, when we crafted this committee in the last parliament, it is bound to be one of the best committees of this House. But let me say, these committees are as good as the leadership and as a membership. It is up to you, whichever committee you are put in, to make the best out of it, and also in the service to your constituents. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Remember, I'll give you 1 minute.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. As you'll be making your ruling, it is very important that you listen to the voice of the honorable member who spoke without the committee or the committee notwithstanding. Because in the original, an analogy was very clear that the independent members need to be protected. Though in the end, as I listened to him, he failed to explain whether the representative of the independent members were in the selection committee that did the work. Somewhat, that's what he did not pronounce himself on. So that's an important place you'll have to check, so that as we protect their section, indeed, notwithstanding the committee that he has been given, it's important that continuously their place is protected. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, honorable members. Honorable Timothy, I don't need to go and think deeply on this. It's a very straightforward matter. For independent members, the standing orders, you've rightly said, have given you an opportunity to form a caucus, which can help you in prosecuting your interests at various levels in your performance of your duty. Number two, the Speaker ensured by advising the majority minority leaders that you are represented as independents from your caucus on the selections committee, which you by none other than the distinguished lady from your own county, your county representative. Honorable Caroline Gelechei. So you are not unrepresented.